The scientific progress has been extremely good so far. The project has been able to produce some lines of the sorghum with the nutritional enhancement as well as proteins, vitamins, micronutrients. So the technology is going on very well. The challenges in enabling development, especially permit and biosafety. Many of the African countries do not have the regulatory framework, and this is an area where the African governments need to really improve the situation. Here in South Africa, we have had the challenge of a CSR permit, which has not been issued for greenhouse work. Again, that was a bit of a surprise to us, but again, we are engaging, CSRIs continue to engage the government, because the permit application was about the greenhouse work, not to take anything to the field. We still don't have a product to the field, but the response focused on the release. But again, we expect those kind of challenges, and we are sure we shall overcome them. Africa Harvest is a non-profit, non-government organization. So we do not generate our own income. You're not like private sector that you invest money and they generate income. We depend on grants from donors who want to invest in certain areas in Africa, and that we come in as strategic partners to donors. We call them development partners. So one challenge we have is soliciting funding to carry on our vision and mission in Africa. The other challenge which we have, and there's nothing unusual, is expertise. You find in Africa, many of the expertise that is required, especially in the area of biotechnology, is not in Africa, because many good African scientists stay in America or in Britain or Europe, and they don't like to come home. So to be able to get expertise, either we have to go and persuade them to come, or we have to bring experts from outside. Some areas like regulatory, we are hiring experts. They are very busy, not easy to find. And so one way we hope is that through our efforts and projects like this one, ABS, we're able to interest many African scientists to come back and participate in development. The other area, which is again is a challenge to us, is the whole area of biosafety and development, which is again is a big challenge when you're dealing with the science and technology, especially biotechnology. The enabling an environment to bring products is a challenge. And in this regard, also the capacities and infrastructures in Africa. Many governments or institutions do not have well-funded laboratories or well-equipped laboratories. And this is also a challenge when you're trying to empower science and technology in Africa. But we are encouraged to know that in the last AU meeting in Ethiopia, the African governments have committed themselves to put 1% of their GDP, which is $157 million, to improving science and technology in Africa. This is highly commendable. We are very pleased with this kind of decision, because it will help the African scientists to take leadership and to address the needs of Africa. I believe one of the reasons why Africa is still not very well developed is that African scientists do not have the opportunity or the funding to take lead to solving the problems confronting their own society. Often it's left to international or other external consultants and the experts, and often they do not understand the local challenges, they lack indigenous knowledge. And so many of the projects they start or advice they give does not become sustainable. It is short-lived. So African governments putting money in Africa is going to help to raise the African leadership and build African capacity, and come on with development projects that have long-term sustainability.